Mike, what's up? Will, what's going on? Our first guest today. How you doing? Mike Will's
Woo! First guest, they get a
Will's
prize.
Mike Will's the guy from EXP I told you about. I met with for
Oh,
coffee
what's up,
yesterday.
Will?
Really good dude.
Welcome to our
Um,
little welcome to our Torii lounge.
yeah, exactly. Little virtual lounge we have going on.
Yeah, I wish we had
Will,
like
Will, Will, you might have some thoughts on some of the things that we're going to talk about today. Um, where we're talking about like just general funkiness in the market right now, funkiness in some of the deals that we're working on, with some of the listings that we're working on right now too.
hmm
I mean, generally, I think the theme is that like, and we've talked about this before, right? Like, no two deals are the same. Like, there's always
No.
differences in deals that, like different deals you might be working on at a given time, and we've got stories for days on that. But Mike,
Come
what are
on,
some of the
sit
things?
down, stay a while. We'll
Yeah,
come,
exactly. I mean, we
yeah,
could
you know?
literally talk about this for a whole conference, but like
Yeah.
all we have is a half hour. So, Mike, like, what are some of the things that on your end that you've been dealing with? Again, on the listing side,
Yeah.
buy side, even with some of the rule changes, like the with the rentals and things like that. So, share some thoughts.
Sure. Quick timeout. This is the first time I've ever been chewing gum on the pod, and I can hear it in my. So excuse me.
So it's getting super funky. He's getting super funky.
It's very, it's very funky. It's funny. I can talk to you from my earpods, but you can't see me.
No, we can't. That's
Okay,
true.
one
It's
second.
getting a little too funky, Mike.
All right, we're back. Okay. Sorry, no sans gum. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, of most recent note, I've got a deal closing next week. Uh, we went through the normal contingencies, inspection, and all that. Now, granted, in the basement, there was some clutter. There was a lot of stacked boxes and other things. So, in the inspection report, it's limited view. Make sure they write that down that they couldn't access a couple things, but you get a general overall sense of the framing and the structure of the house and the structural integrity of it. And I've been on enough of them. You've been on enough of them. There are ones that are obviously like, all right, we don't have to do any more inspection. We're
Yeah.
we're we're going to be backing out of this. We can cut this short and be out. And those are obvious. And this one was not like that. And they had replaced the roof and done some things. Was it like in like brand new condition? No, but looked fine. And this is the lesson when you go for like measurements and you're bringing someone else. I had a change of schedule or I couldn't make it. That always ends up as a bad
Yeah. You
when
want to
you're
accompany
not
your
there.
clients at all times.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay, we're like past the mortgage commitment,
Yeah.
everything's going to be fine. They're just having their contractor friend be like, hey, I think I can do this and this if you want, whatever. Well, panic ensued afterwards throughout the weekend of the contractor basically striking the fear of God into those
Yeah.
buyers, and the buyers then immediately gathering information of what they could do about it or back out or what have you. And so that's when you're playing psychiatrist like half the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just like, okay, here are the steps that we can go through. We're going to go back with this inspector's manager to ascertain things. And but where they were at in the process, there's no more protections left. You've already signed something. You're buying the house as is, unless something's changed drastically. If they were intentionally hiding things, the burden of proof for that is so high
Yeah.
that it's almost impossible. And you have to get lawyers involved and all this stuff. It's like it's a lot easier to think about that than to actually like implement such
Did
things.
you
And
did you know in that situation? I know you knew that they were going for measurements, but did you know that they were going to bring a contractor?
it was like a friend. It
Okay.
was a friend of a husband of a friend.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
theirs.
got it. Okay. I
So
mean, I think one reminder to people too is that, like, especially in those situations, um, like, look, the agent's going to have to. Part of the agent's responsibility is to play therapist. Like, I think in every
yeah.
deal, I've had to do a little bit of that, right? And
Hmm.
so in some deals, you have to do a lot, but like in
Yeah.
this case for you, right? But I think, like, sometimes, and look, I know everybody means well and things like that, but sometimes, like, contractors, vendors, they can talk too much. they can try to they can, like, also just kind of, like, try to flex a little bit too much, than more than they
Hmm.
need to, and that can create problems. This contractor probably didn't know. He didn't do a full-on inspection, right?
No, right.
Right. He's not the one that did the full on. He didn't see the inspection report. Maybe he heard a little bit from from his friends, right? But he also probably didn't know the level of risk involved, if like he did instill this
Yeah.
type of, like, thinking in them. So, like,
It-
uh, I think that's a really important, and, I mean, you didn't know that this was going to happen, but this is partially why
no.
I think a lot of agents are like, hey, if your clients are gonna go do these measurements, they need to be accompanied. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to
Yeah.
be. You need to tread carefully here.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And so, luckily, we were able to quell the fears and things are moving
Yeah.
along as they should. But I think, like, yeah, the main lesson is if you ha everybody has a budget of their house, right? And if a particular budget is going to warrant an older home, we want to make sure that it's safe.
Hmm.
I agree with that. That shit keeps me up at night. I literally told the clients, I was like, I will stand in your basement for years as a support beam if you need to.
Yeah,
Like, that's
that's what you tell me.
the level of anxiety that causes me of putting someone in. And I had a similar freak out of somebody like 6 7 years ago that just sent me, and this is after they moved in. They're like, my family's going to die. There's like the roof is going to collapse in, and it was like one board that had been splintered out
Yeah.
this way. And it's just like, no, everything's okay. But I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, are they gonna? Uh, so,
Guthie, what's
but
up? Amadeus, how you doing? Guthie, we
Amadeus,
got we
Amadeus,
got Macy here too. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining. Um,
what's up?
but one, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've had two incidents recently. Not incidents, but two situations recently with, letters to the seller.
Okay,
The market's
you submitted them or you got them?
both. One
One of each.
in one particular deal, the deal I'm working on in Watertown that should be closing tomorrow. We submitted a letter to the seller at the request and suggestion of the listing agent. The listing agent really liked
Okay,
us. The listing agent
yeah,
really liked us. She was super friendly. And she was trying to help us out. And she's like, I really want you guys to get this house, blah, 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 blah. She knew we were interested. So she was like, yeah, I really think you guys should write a letter. Okay, great. And then actually, that actually, it seems, helped us. Like, apparently there was a higher offer, but our terms were really good, and we had that letter, and it sounds like, according to the agent, before any other offers came in, they had already decided they were going to go with us, right? So obviously that's good, that's great, and what have you. I had another
yeah, it's wonderful.
situation. I had another situation in Quincy. A client submitted an offer cash, right, above asking. And he was trying to buy a house for his parents, and he didn't get it because somebody else, also cash, included a letter with their offer, and that letter was apparently the reason that, it, like, really touched the seller,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
apparently was the reason why we didn't get it. And I bring this up because, like, until now,
Mm,
I've basically had no situations where a letter to the seller, or a love letter, as they could, as sometimes it's referred to in the business, has been the reason, one way or another, that my client did or didn't get.
mm, Hmm.
an offer accepted. And we've talked about this before. That yeah, maybe a letter has like the equivalent value of like $1,000 or a couple of $1,000.
It's like all things being equal,
All
it
things
does make
being
you,
equal, yeah, and
yeah,
and and this is the first. This I mean, again, this is in the span of a month, twice. The two different examples where a letter to the seller actually has mattered, which is funny because
mm,
it's actually until recently, I guess, or maybe it still is discouraged, right? Because of fair housing and all that kind of stuff by a lot of
yeah,
our listing agents. Listing agents will say, and some listings still say this, like, hey, we don't want any letters to the seller, any offers with letters to the seller. Sometimes even there's language like this: any offers with letters to the seller or love letters will not even be considered, right? So to see this kind of thing happen a couple of times in the span of a month, when it didn't happen at all in my first
yeah,
four
yeah. You're on
plus
a little bit of
years,
a streak here.
it's kind of like what's going on, like things are changing a little bit, and it's funny because there are less offers on properties, and it's changing, not more offers on properties. You would think that if there's more offers, there's less differences between offers, and this could
Hmm.
change things for the seller, but no. So
Yeah,
again, it's funky.
it is. It's
It's
going with the
funky.
theme. It is funky because you have so many differing. There's nothing else that has more differing opinions. I feel like people write it in MLS, no love letters. You'll see that. You'll see your example of,
Yeah.
oh shit, I lost out because I didn't like write a poem to the
Yeah.
buyers or to the sellers or anything like that. And then you have people that will, I think, like, right place, right time. It can help sometimes, but you
Yeah.
have to also be um, earnest about it. Like, I've had buyers that just like, all right, copy and paste the address, same thing, maybe like a tweak of like a comment of like the kitchen looked different or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
the same thing like over and over again. And then also it needs to match your attitude too, because I have for my multifamily listing, apparently it had been listed by an agent prior. Not only did that guy try to lowball, he also sent a letter about how this will be his first investment property and all that stuff. So he tried to like counteract
Hmm.
like an insulting offer with a love letter, and that doesn't
I
work.
love your. Well, I mean, it's one thing if it's like overpriced and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Usually people
Sure.
know that, but yeah, in this case, that wasn't the case. It wasn't
Yeah.
seriously overpriced
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
But
He
but yeah,
resubmitted everything. And then I called him. I was like, no, they're not going to do this. Like, if you can get in this range, like, now we're talking. And he's like, well, I can't do that and tell them that it goes down by $2,000 every day, that they don't accept it.
wow. Talk about a buyer's market.
Yeah. It's a ransom negotiation? Like, what are you talking about?
Another thing, I don't know. I mean, how often have you ever heard of that? Somebody saying
No.
something like that? Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's funky. Like
The
something
office on
weird.
the table, you have 24 hours.
You have
Yeah.
24 hours to yourself. All right, I'm going to you $2,000 less every
$2,000
day.
off a day.
Oh my God, wild.
Yeah.
One other thing on the well, I mean, we got a few other things, but like on the financing side, I
Yeah.
had well, so two situations I've been doing, one personally and one with a client. Um, I'm purchasing a property with, and this is like not necessarily like funky because of the market. It's just like, again, this goes to the whole theme of like every situation is different, and it needs to
Hmm.
be handled differently, and like the numbers could be different and all that kind of stuff. But I had one situation. I'm purchasing a property. I'm purchasing with partners. We're buying as an LLC, right? Anybody out
Yep.
there, investor or otherwise, if you're thinking about purchasing as like as an LLC, understand that your options are going to be different if you're going to be purchasing as individuals versus as an LLC. the rates are going to be different. The actual programs available to you will be different. The percent down will be different. So there's a lot of things to consider in that case. A client situation, um, also he's purchasing as a residence right now, but ultimately it's going to be an investment property. The guy doesn't have a green card, so
Mm.
he's applied for it. He's got a visa right now. Um, I mean, I think most people know that in terms of financing and like credit scores and all that kind of stuff, like if it's highly preferred if you're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, right? And this is the first time I've worked with a client who was not at least a green card holder, um, and he also had to really vet out and find out ahead of time who could actually support, like take on that so quote unquote risk. I mean, the guy works on Amazon.
Yeah.
He's not a
Yeah.
huge risk. He makes good money. He's fine. But like again, in terms of the entire credit profile, so to speak, like it's one of those funky situations where not every it's not there's actually a lot of lenders out there who will not lend to somebody, regardless of their employment status, where they're working, how much money they're making, if they their credit score, etc. If they're not at least a green card holder. So no, understand that again, like every situation is different depending on the entity that's purchasing or
Mm.
individual or like your immigration
Do,
status, all that stuff.
does that change your rate because of the
Yeah,
products that are available
yeah,
for you? Yeah.
yeah. You're
Mm.
effectively they consider you a greater risk. Right?
Mm.
And actually, same thing with the LLC. It seems that like since it's an LLC and the individuals are protected, right? Like they can't go
Yes.
like chase the individuals because technically that's the way that's the whole point of this entity structure is creditor
Right.
protection, right? Like
Mm. Mm-hmm.
that it's effectively a greater risk. So it does change
Mm.
things. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mm.
um,
Ah,
yeah,
learning new
but
stuff. Look at that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know,
Damn.
you're 9 years
Funky.
in or whatever it is. I'm
Yeah.
almost 5 years in, and we're literally learning new things every day.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
wild. Uh, Isa, what's going on? We got DM Schrager in the house. Paint my new home.
Hello, David.
How's everyone doing?
What's up? All
Also,
right.
you guys have any like thoughts and questions for us? We're talking about like funky stuff we're seeing in the market, funky situations that we've been involved in,
Mm-hmm.
funky listings that we're working on. Mike's got a couple that just went on the market this week, so look out for
Yeah.
those. Three family in Southie, and we've got a condo in Rosendale. We got some others coming up too, so stay tuned
Yeah.
for those. Mike, what else? Anything else that comes to mind for you in terms of general funkiness?
I do like this. I think these next few, I think these next few weeks are funky. They're just like a lot of people are away on vacation. School's coming back in session, so this is your last chance to get away with the kids or from the kids, I guess. So people are doing
From the
that. So
kids.
uh, I
All right.
don't know. So, so yeah, I think for one of my listings, it's a multifamily, it's an investment property. I think there are eyes on that all the time. So, regardless of seizing for a proper investment to understand stuff, I was asked for, and it's funny too because like there were some parties telling me to just get the pictures and slap it on. And I took my time. I took like an extra week and a half to get an understanding of like what the costs are of the repairs that are needed and other things like that. And that's been a topical question each time because there's either people that know, if people know what they're doing and it's like a contractor coming in as an investment property or a contractor with the purchaser, then they can vet that themselves. If there's people
Right.
with just like looking to do either a 1031 exchange and maybe they had something that was, impeccable condition, or people with money trying to buy their first property, they don't know. One person literally asked, it said, "Do you know any contractors?" So like,
Yeah.
but that didn't stop that from deterring. But at least I was able to speak intelligently on it, can give them other comps directly related to all that.
Yeah. I mean, how
and whatnot.
powerful was it probably for you to be like, actually, I had a contractor come through this house already
Yeah,
and give me an idea of what needs to be done. I'm happy to share some of that stuff with you. Like, that's
it's
that
great.
builds an insane amount of credibility and saves time.
I was thinking same situation without the knowledge and with the knowledge because we're in this crawl space basement. It has the utilities and it definitely needs work on that inside. Me without that information, they're like, "Well, what's going on over here?" And it's like, uh, uh, versus like, okay, yeah, the sewer pipe needs to be replaced right there. That's all going to be PVC, so that's relatively inexpensive. Those joists need to be replaced and beefed up. That board right there. And then I go to the side and it's just like, here's a little bit of pointing. You wipe the brick because it's like a little disintegrated on the top. It's just like, these are all fixable things. And if I can say it confidently, like it's not the end of the world versus like being on my heels
Yeah.
on about something, which is a completely different vibe that you give off to
Yeah,
people
and
looking.
how often do we? First of all, Imran, what's up? Michelle, how you doing? Reno Auntie, how's everyone doing? Thank you for joining. We got, I think, like we see so many listings that say that buyers need to do their own due diligence, right? And
Yeah,
like, and
yeah,
and of course, even with that information that you would share with them, they should, right? They should
they
kind
should.
of,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
100%.
exactly. Yeah,
But I don't think it's normal for an agent to do that homework, that level of homework that you did on that property prior to
hmm
listing it. I think like there's a lot of laziness out there, and you have to understand, like the people listening, you got to understand the market is different now. Like
hmm
buyers do have, I mean, we kind of cheekily mentioned, like, talk about a buyer's market, right? Like it buyers do have more leverage than they did 6 months ago, even, right? And I think it's
yeah,
important to work with an agent like Mike, who will put in that type of effort to get like the information needed to make people feel comfortable. So I think that example that you mentioned, Mike, of you told me, I don't know if it was today or this morning or yesterday, like, that person who came in without a contractor, you shared some information with her, and she at least gave you like a verbal offer. Like, why did she
yeah.
do
Thank you.
that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you do that? She did that because
Yeah,
you had information to share with her. How many times do I ask agents about some details about a property, and they have no freaking idea? Basic
yeah,
stuff, basic stuff.
yeah. Does that
So
that is a yellow light at that point? It's
yeah,
like, yes, do then you have to battle with as a buyer, how bad do I want this? Like, am I
yeah,
willing to
yeah,
like ignore uncertainty in things to go
yeah,
after it?
yeah. And well, and
You
let's
don't have to.
yeah, let's quickly, like, Sidra, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Like, let's paint the picture though. Like, this three family does need work. Like, you walk
Yes.
through it, you can tell it needs some work,
Yeah.
right? So it's not for everybody, right? So
It's a particular profile of
it's a
person.
particular
Yeah.
profile, no question about it. It
Yeah.
is not turnkey. I mean, I guess it could be, but you don't want it to be. If you want to
No.
optimize,
You gotta
yeah,
gotta get
yeah, it's a little,
it's like a little stuck.
it gets a little stuck. Yeah, no question about it. But like, if you want to optimize that type of investment in that type of location, you got to put some work into it, right? And
Yeah.
there's some
Yeah.
value add potential with it too. So this place, evidently, when you walk through it, needs work, right? So somebody having walked through it without a contractor, without tons of knowledge, not being in that profession, not being a developer, as a listing agent and as a seller, you want to be as prepared as possible. Gone are the days when you can just slap a price on something, have a lazy listing, and expect five offers to come in. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not going to happen anymore. Rates are way too high, and cost of things are way too high. So
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, people, open your eyes, like, get serious, right? Like, you need to. There's some there, and even in your Rosendale listing, right? Like, the tenants
Yeah.
moved out, and you got stagers in there,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the
right?
staging. That is a lesson learned of there's not it's tough to imagine stuff that's not there. Even the virtual staging
Yeah,
isn't unless it's something like like this product in this area goes immediately. But even then, like, you're not creating the best maybe price outcome for your clients. Definitely get the stagers. The I cannot say enough about the girls that she designs. They were awesome.
Yeah.
And you're able to like capitalize on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's short money for
Yeah.
for like for some potentially serious gain and less headache because
Yep.
it won't be on market for as long. So yeah, I mean, I think one. So I think a few kind of takeaways for folks, and again, we could talk about this forever. We probably will come back another time to talk about another funky market in
Yeah.
6 months or something like that. But like understand no two situations are the same. The market has shifted a bit more towards buyers, but we're still seeing some competition out there. But it's incumbent on sellers and their agents, and this is something we're really close to because the listing side of our business is growing,
Mm-hmm.
right, which is very exciting. And and
That's great.
and two of these things that two of those properties Mike put on the market this week, he had to do his homework. So and he had to kind of put in some effort prior to putting them on the market. Not just him, his sellers too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, both of them were semi funky situations. So like understand the funkiness, do your homework, as a seller, and if you're a seller working with an agent, which you should be, like make sure they're doing their homework and doing the right things to set everyone up for success. It's good for the
Yep.
seller. It's good for the buyer too when you do that. So,
Amen, brother.
anything I missed?
Do you have a little funk left? Like any little bit of funk
Dude, I always got a
laying
little
around?
funk. I always got a little
Yeah.
funk. All
Yeah.
right, so I'll
Yeah.
throw another little tidbit
That's what
out
I like
there.
to hear.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll throw another little tidbit out there for everybody. Listen, we all know last August was when the buyer agency agreement, what buyer agency changes happened. I mean, frankly, for our business, it hasn't really meant much. We're thankfully like just doing just fine, and we have our process, and we're following the rules and all that kind of stuff. Changing the way we write offers, blah blah blah. It's really just more. It seems like it's been more of a clerical change than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on the flip side, I think again we're talking about funkiness. Like this tenant rule change is a bigger deal. I think that is going to change how tenants are searching for their new places that they're going to be moving into. I think less tenants because knowing that they're going to have to negotiate with their agent on what they're going to pay them and stuff like that. We're already seeing it. We've got a couple of agents on our team that work rentals, and they're seeing that like the opportunity really is working with the landlords right now, not with the tenants
Yeah.
themselves, because tenants are like hesitant to want to like do it a different way. And then landlords on the flip side, um, you know, it's a different conversation that needs to have to be had with them. And they're naturally over time, the consensus seems to be that rents are going to go up because of the fees that they're going to be obligated to pay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to pay the listing agent, or sorry, the rental agent, and that's representing the landlord, and the tenant cannot. The tenant's not
Yeah.
allowed to. So that means the landlord has to. And that is a whole huge shift. That is a shift, I should say, in the way things have been done. And we're going to see some ramifications of that. We're already starting to. I mean, tenants are less inclined to use a rental agent. It appears, at least that's the trend we've been seeing. And landlords, they're trying to what they want to do is kind of find a way to bake it into the rent. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, ultimately, I think this is bad for tenants, but that's again a
We'll see.
hypothesis. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. It's just another funky thing that's been thrown into the real estate world, and we'll be monitoring closely. So I guess that's the last bit of funkiness for me.
The funk in me respects the funk in you,
Likewise, dude.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Funk recognizes funk.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks,
All right.
Mike. That's Mike, as you guys know. I'm Saad, as hopefully you know. This is Story Time. We'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Bye, 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 bye.